friends, if you are going into a business where you have to make handmade products like candles or soaps, you are probably asking yourself the same question: how do I actually price my products? And in today's video, we will dive into this subject a little more because a lot of people do underpay themselves or overpay themselves, where they have to price their product way too high. And there's other errors that are commonly made when pricing a product. So today we are going to be going over that. I have spent over 3 hours trying to learn how to price a product, and I just want to share with you what I have learned so far. I am actually starting a candle business, or looking into starting one, to see how that goes and to learn a little bit more together about how pricing works and how that affects the amount of sales that we get and the profit and all that information. So for this video, we're just going to be talking about pricing the product. The first thing we're going to talk about is what everyone gets wrong, others' mistakes, if you will. And the first one is, a lot of times people guess the price of the product. And I myself did that at the beginning as well. Many times people would just guess or just compare the price of what they're making. Let's say you're making a candle, like this one, we're just making a tiny candle, and you go on Etsy or other shops and you find that they sell them for $4. So you're gonna price yours at $4 as well. And that is very risky. It is not very reliable. Everybody's costs are different. And if you keep comparing yourself or your products to other people's products, you're just gonna find that you will be burnt out way quicker. But the good news is that there's actually a formula that you can follow to price your product. Here are the 4 steps that I found for this formula. And the first one is adding your material costs. Now what you're going to do is grab a pen and a paper and start writing down all the products that you're gonna be buying. For the purpose of today's video, we will be pricing candles. What are the products that you need to make candles? First, you need the jars, you need the wax, you need the scents, you need color, and you're going to need labels. It is very important that you remember every little thing counts, okay? So we're going to be writing down all those things that we need. The next thing we're going to do is add your labor. Think about how long it takes you to make each product. In this case, again, we're working with this little candle. How long is it taking me to grab the jar, clean it out, melt the wax, add the color, add the scents, all that? How long is it taking you? Even creating this tiny little vinyl decals that I have right here. Now you need to think about how much do you want to pay yourself for this labor. So if you want to pay yourself $15 and it takes you 30 minutes to make the candles, then that would be about $7.50 in labor costs. Now for step number 3, add your overhead. That is what your labels are costing, your shipping boxes, your electricity, your tools, even your workplace setup. And now that you have completed the previous 3 steps, we're going into the 4th step. The 4th step is adding a profit margin. Let's talk a little bit about what is a profit margin. According to the online dictionary, profit margin is the amount by which revenue from sales exceeds costs in a business. Most people calculate about 20 to 50% profit margin. So now that we know what a profit margin is, let's try this with an example. So I made this spearmint candle, and for the purpose of this video, we will be doing a 20% margin. So the first thing we're going to do, according to what we have already learned, is write down all the items. So now that we know everything that we're buying, how much everything is costing, we're going to do our formula, and this is how the formula goes. So it's basically materials, labor, overhead, and profit, and that will be the price that you're gonna sell your product for. Now let's take this as an example again. So we're making our little spearmint candle right here, and I have added all my products and all of that information, and the total cost was, for materials, it was $4. For packaging, it was $1.50. Labor, $7.50. Overhead price, $1. That totals $14. Now we're going to be using the 20% profit margin, and the total that we'll be selling this candle for is $16.80. Now, that's a little too much for this tiny candle, but we're just using this as an example. This could be maybe 3 candles instead of 1. It doesn't have to be just 1. We're just doing the example. If you look around in Etsy, you might find that most candles will sell for about $15 to $16. So our price turned out perfect, and that's what we should be charging for our candles. The big takeaway is, do not copy others. Do your math first. While I was doing the research for this video, I found 3 big mistakes. The first one is not paying yourself for your time. The second one is forgetting to include your shipping costs and your packaging costs. The third one is lowering your price just to make it more competitive for the other ones that you found online. That will usually lead to burnout and fewer sales. Remember to always value your time and your product. People are not necessarily buying your product. They buy your time, your creativity, and your care. So that's what I've made from doing my 3-hour research into how to price your product. If you're starting your first homemade business, hit the subscribe button so we can learn together and build something from home that actually works. Thanks for watching, and remember, don't underprice your magic.